rant, maybe. I guess you could call it a rant, or just a possible how I feel about this whole thing. Just a sec. Let me make sure everything is going well. Rant, maybe? I guess you could call it a rant, or just a possible. So there's this unspoken rule book of rules that a killer has to follow. I'm not gonna lie, being the nice killer, folks, gets you nowhere other than stuck in rank 13. And I'm gonna tell you, when I play the nice killer, my rank lapses. Yes, a lot of people don't really see rank as being anything serious, but there are other people that take it so seriously to the point where you don't really have fun with this game in any role. There are some things killers may do that gets annoying. There are a lot of things that survivors do that annoy the killers. My thing is this: killers don't have an advantage at the start of the game. That they don't. They could lose a gen within that 30 seconds of them looking for their first survivor to hit or to catch a hit. Think about that. And also, you could lose all gens and not find anybody at all. And most of the killers don't even have the mobility to go from one gen to the other and things like that. That's why we have. My thing is, why are killers given hexes and survivors are given cooldowns of an OP perk that they have? Our powers are in a hex totem. All good powers are in a hex totem. And none of them, and all the survivors' powerful perks have cooldowns. Like Dead Hard, DS you can only use once. Borrowed Time you could probably use more than once. Unbreakable, I'm pretty sure you use once. Starstruck, not Starstruck, Smash Hit, you use that a lot. Sprint Burst, you can use that more than once. All the survivor perks that are good and powerful on their end is a cooldown perk, while barely any of ours have that. It doesn't, because it really doesn't seem to matter if we run Hex Ruin, Pop Goes the Weasel, Thrilling Tremors, and things like that. But it's like when I probably started playing this game maybe like in 2018 when it was still young, and I've seen how it has become more of survivor sided, I guess you could say, it's become more survivor sided than it has anything else, to the point where it's not. excuse me, it's not fun for the killers. It's not fun for killer mains because survivors can gen rush and they got perks to back that up to make those gens pop quicker, pop like fireworks. And what do killers have? Limited mobility. Survivors go out of their way to protect their teammates. Yes, do that. But then again, why do you think Starstruck was made? Because it's happening too much. It happens a lot in my matches to where I could finally catch somebody and then here comes somebody, either with a flashlight or wanting a body block, or all of them going to be over there taking a shot until the person I got is off my shoulders, and you notice you're losing points. When this happens, you're losing points. But survivors doing what they gotta do, they're gaining points. That's why I say survivor is easier than being killer, because a killer has so much to deal with. You gotta keep gens you gotta keep gens from progressing. You gotta get 4 survivors with 16 total perks plus add-ons. You don't really have a way to prevent gen rushing. You don't, regardless if you run a Hex Ruin or anything that's going to regress it a little bit quicker. It's not going to matter because somebody is going to cleanse it and things like that. It's like either way, killers don't have any type of don't have any type of regression or any type of what's the word I'm looking for? Killers don't have any type of power or control at the start of the match, mid-match, in-game, things like that. It's like you gotta have that certain build that helps you at the start of the game, helps you in mid-game, and helps you in end-game. Well, helps you in mid-game and helps you in the end. And most of the time, I'll run Corrupt Intervention to help me to make sure they don't start them off and start gens right off the bat to where I may lose 2 or 3. To give me a little bit of time to find that for Survivor. Mid game, maybe Thrilling Tremors or Pop, because you gotta keep gens regressed. And in game, you have No Way, Blood Warden, No Way Out. But we also gotta look at the fact they don't last long at all. They don't. And if you're lucky, you may not be able to use those. You might just get as far as using your mid game perk, or you may get a 4K. I'll admit, I have used Trickster since the day he came out. There are days I would get a 4K, 3, 2, 1. That next game I go back to 4, get a couple 3s, get a couple 2s, get a couple 1s, then maybe get 3s, 2s, 1s, and then 2s, then 1s, and then keeps getting 1s and 1s and 1s and 1s, to where it doesn't matter to me now, because I'm starting to look at it as more fun than being serious. Now, as for the rule book, I don't ever follow it. I don't, because this came as a surprise to me though. Like there's just like this certain rule book that survivors expect killers to follow. No tunneling, no camping. You can't hit me within first minute if you find me. Let me run away. If I got borrowed time, let me run away. If I got DS, let me run away and go get healed. Even if you see somebody coming to get me, you can't hit me. You can't hit them. You can't follow them back to the hook. You can't. You can't hit the unhook. You can't hit the person that saved me. You can't run nowhere. You can't run Rancor. You can't run Blood Warden. You can't run. I'm pretty sure there's gonna be somebody that says you can't run No Way Out. You can't run Starstruck. You can't run Franklin's Demise. You can't do this. You can't do that. But how fair is it when you're going against 4 DSs and 4 borrowed times? Explain that. There are killers that counter this. Wraith counters borrowed time. There are survivors that will get mad because of that. Pyramid Head counters Decisive Strike if they step in the punishment. That's their DS gone. But with this nerf that the developers are putting in, it's been needed. And I want to say that and I'm going to go ahead and explain why it's been needed. Because every game I've played before the nerf, there would be somebody behind me, always chasing me, always wanting to get hit just so they could get that DS in. I would hit them, go resume the chase that I'm already in, notice that they're already gone, try to chase them for a minute, but by the time I come back, somebody's healing them, hit that person, hit the person that possibly had DS, pick them up, I get DS'd. How can I say this? Some of you survivors have the audacity to say someone sucks when you have the audacity to abuse overpowered builds. You overuse what's given to you. Devs don't see this. Maybe they do see this, and that's probably why matchmaking is a mess. How can I say this? You think you're good when you're not very good, because when you're put up against someone that's a good killer and your team is either yellow or brown ranks, that's probably their way of saying, okay, we're going to see how good this person really is. And once they meet that good killer and their ego is shattered, there's nothing else they can say. Survivors, you gotta understand, you're not as good as you think you are. Some killers, we aren't as good as we think we are. I'll admit, I'm not the best killer. I do the best I can, but thing is, I'm gonna do whatever it takes to get an advantage. I'm gonna do whatever it takes to keep an advantage. I'm gonna do whatever it takes to get a 4K, 1K, 2K, or 3K. Don't message me saying that I suck as a killer. If I sucked so bad as a killer, then I wouldn't have hit anybody, wouldn't have gotten any hooks, wouldn't have gotten a Mori, wouldn't have gotten anything. If I was that bad, I wouldn't have gotten to rank 8. Yes, I will get back to rank 8, and I hope it's soon. But you you survivors. Well, no, I'm not gonna say you survivors. The entitled survivors. Why do you have the mentality of always wanting to win? Like, you've always got to win. Like, it pays your car note. Please, someone please tell me where are these checks? Where are these checks coming in? I haven't got one. Are they paying by rank? Someone let me know. Like, please let me know. Y'all did. Some of you entitled survivors just take it too far sometime. You go as far as wishing death upon people, and it's a video game. Dude, there's girls that play this game too. Like, really, get your head out of your tail. It's a game. So what you got tunneled? So what you got camped? What does that say? If you couldn't get out with your team and the killer got 1K, what does that say about you? What does that say about you as a survivor main? That you couldn't even get past a camping killer or a tunneling killer? That you didn't even make it out the door. That you didn't even make it out the gate. What does it say about you that you claim to be so good when the killer possibly had you on hook within 5 minutes of the game? What does that say about killer? That's just the killer doing the best that he can. Y'all want to abuse everything, every little thing that y'all got, and you want to whine and complain when it gets nerfed. My thing is, if you, some of you are just so selfish to where you worry about your own fun and ruin it for the killers. You have the audacity to loop. My thing is, show some skill and try to outrun the killer. When you're looping, yes, it gets harder for the killer because the killer can't hit you. You are possibly holding off a game, keeping the killer away from his objective, which is to keep gens regressed. It would be stupid of the killer not to engage in a chase. If engaging in a chase too long, yes, that's a bit dumb. But what you survivors fail to realize, what you think is strategy half the time, you aren't helping your team get out. That killer could run nowhere, catch up to you within that 5th gen, and once that 5th gen pops, he hits you and possibly hooks you. That may be the only hook that he gets, or he could get you all. But thing is, what you survivors need to do is do better game planning, because the fact that you want to be a distraction, because you want to take care of the person who's working on gens, that's the problem right there. You don't want to make it fun for anybody else except for yourself. This game has become selfish, survivor selfish, to where y'all have to, where most survivors have to enforce made up rules. Are you that bad to where you gotta make up rules? But you say looping is a strategy. But no, do you not realize that some of y'all, when y'all do that, y'all are holding it hostage. Y'all are holding up the game for no apparent reason. It's like on endgame, when you loop, you're holding the game for too long. Why don't you just leave, get out of that loop, and go to the exit gate that's open? If the killer gets you, oh well. Stop acting so entitled and use your brain half the time. If you get looped, the thing is, if you loop, then yeah, you're wasting time. You flashlight click, you teabag, and you say it's all in fun, but no, you ruin it for the killers. My thing is, killer means you really gotta stop giving in to these entitled survivors because they can't win on their own. It's like I had a match with 3 flashlights yesterday. Like, what the heck, people? 3 flashlights. 3. Every time I tried to pick up, someone would be right there flashlight blinding me. Even when after I dropped them, someone else would be flashlight blinding me. Hey, what else can be done when you're supposed to be doing gens and breaking totems or whatever, and when you don't do this and you lose at the end of the game? Don't complain about it. Stop complaining about it, because that's on you. You would rather get flashlight saves, pallet stun saves, or just loop. Help your team. I mean, honestly, I'm not saying don't do gens, but still, you need to do gens. You need to do gens to get out. It does not matter if the killer gets 1K. And there are sometimes I play Survivor to where I feel so bad to where I felt like he got bullied, and technically he does. I give myself up so he can get a kill. This killer may not have been able to find me, or maybe have gotten me hooked once, or maybe have not gotten me hooked, but I give myself up. I sacrifice myself for that killer just so he can have fun. Y'all bully sometimes, and that's what makes me mad. And that's why I'm like getting very irritated as I speak, because you low ranks want to bully a high rank killer, but once that high rank or low rank killer gets, or high rank, whatever you want to call it, or however they do it, once you get a high rank, you want to bully that killer. You want to ruin it for him just to keep your fun. Heck, that could be somebody that's trying to kill her out for the first time. But no, you would rather bully him and get out and teabag at the gate, when this could be somebody that's just starting as a killer, and you message him saying that he sucks. What you fail to realize, there's probably new killers coming in. There's probably new people trying to kill her every day. Stop with that crap, saying that they suck, when in reality it's y'all that sucks, because y'all expect a killer to follow a rule book. Y'all rely on OP builds, YouTuber builds, as I would say. Let's go back and from 2018, when this game was still young. Y'all knew nothing about looping. Y'all knew nothing about an OP build. Y'all knew nothing about escaping a killer or anything like that. Y'all did that with skill. Y'all did that. Y'all had no choice but to do this with skill. But now you want to have OP builds. Now you have OP builds, and then you survive with friends. You want to bully killers, but you go out of your way to protect because once your chaser or whatever gets caught, you go out of your way to ruin it for the killer. That could be his first kill. That could be his only kill. I honestly wish and hope some of you survivors get it through your thick skulls. There are no rules for a killer to follow. None. Stop making up crappy rules because you can't win. Go ahead and keep your gen rushing. Go ahead and keep your OP builds. Go ahead and keep your looping. Because I guarantee you, developers are going to ruin it for y'all one day. I have an honest feeling they're going to ruin it for y'all to where it's seen so much. What if the chapter 20 killer gets something that blocks the doors of the killer shack? Gets a perk that blocks the doors of the killer shack. And then y'all going to want to complain when this killer, when somebody has the bright idea to mix No Way Out, Blood Warden, whatever that crowd control, and the door blocking perk, or whatever you want to call it, that could be in works right now. Who's to say that developers may not slow down gen times? The more people on a gen, it slows down. Who's to say that it won't go from 80 seconds to 120 when 2 people are on it, when 3 people are on it, when 4 people are on a gen? What then? I mean, y'all would rather gen rush? That's fine. But here's the thing about camping. Y'all bring that on yourselves. Tunneling, you bring that on yourselves. Some of y'all would rather be heroic and make that magical save when the killer is still in your radius and you have the audacity to say it's tunneling. Stop. Y'all need to get it through your heads. It's a video game. People are going to play how they want to. Killers are going to play how they want to. Survivors are going to play how they want to. Unless you paid for their game on their system or their Steam, shut up. You didn't. Let them play how they want to. Let killers play how they want to. It is not their job to entertain you. They've got one simple job, and that's to try and get a 4K and do it by any means. Whether they camp or tunnel, get over that, survivors. If you can flashlight blind, body block, gen rush, everything that is not fair to a killer to a certain extent, get over it. And so can killer mains. Killer mains can do whatever they want. And that's all I gotta say about that. I don't really care if somebody comes at me. I'm speaking truth. Y'all have no idea how easy it is to lose a rank on killer than it is survivor, because all y'all do, most survivors do, would rather rely on an OP build just to keep their rank, knowing they don't have the skill. They do not have the skill to maintain it without an OP build. Why don't you try playing Yuri with Lucky Break? That has been me for the last couple days. I've only ran Yuri with Lucky Break, and I've had more escapes than I have had in a long time, and I don't even want or need an OP build. I run Jake with no perks at all, and I still escape. Meg, no perks at all. That skill right there, because in my head I look at it as a game as if I am playing Resident Evil, because honestly in Resident Evil you don't have weapons for long. Once that weapon is out, it's gonna be a while before you get ammo. Some of y'all just really need to show your skill instead of relying on an OP build. Try it.